Hey, how's it going everybody? KG Chaos here, and in this video we're going to talk about Exocrafts in No Man's Sky and just kind of how useless they are nowadays. It's really just a dying breed of transport in the game, and we're going to go over a lot of different details of how No Man's Sky just in general can remedy this situation and make them relevant once again. Anyways, if you guys liked this video, thought it was helpful, or anything in between, please consider hitting that like and subscribe button. Helps me out a lot and I appreciate it greatly if you do. And if you'd like to support me further, I'm an up-and-coming author of the sci-fi fantasy genre, focusing heavily on sci-fi and apocalyptic stories. Now, if you guys are avid readers or just thought about getting into reading recently, I have a link down in the description below so you guys can find my Amazon author bookshelf. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into this video. Now, they've added a variety of Exocraft into No Man's Sky ever since they first added in the Ranger. Now, my favorite is probably the Pilgrim or the Minotaur. They're the only two that I really use compared to all the rest of them. The rest of them are kind of just storage units that I use to store extra things, which I'm guessing a lot of other players do as well. But if I'm just kind of wanting to just roam around and just drive something that more boots on the ground, or wheels on the ground I should say, I either jump into my Pilgrim or the Minotaur and just kind of explore whatever planet I'm on, but that's still hardly ever done. It's kind of a rare thing for me to even do, which I'm guessing is also the case for a lot of players. As I have seen a lot of players say pretty much the same thing over the last few years, and they just kind of become pointless over time, mainly just because they're not as fast as just getting in your starship to look for things. So if you land somewhere on a planet, say you're looking for a certain like gas or mineral deposit, then if you don't find it, you're just going to jump in your ship and kind of judge the distance and fly over and land. So it's not really as fast as the ships are just in general, so it kind of just makes these Exocrafts outdated and are really just something you use just for fun. So I do kind of have a remedy for this that they could probably do a lot more easily said than done, but I do think it is very plausible for the game. And one of my remedies for this is the actual Colossus Exocraft that you guys can have and drive around, just a behemoth of an Exocraft that isn't really used because it's just so slow that there's no really point to use it over any other Exocraft if you're using one of these land vehicles or planet vehicles, whatever you kind of want to call them. So I think they should kind of redesign this Colossus Exocraft, or at very least add something similar, such as maybe make it into, or just make a new Exocraft that you can have a mobile base in. Because me, for one, although I love exploring planets, I don't really build bases that much on planets, just because I'm just constantly exploring and I'm never really going to go back to these bases. So my main base is my freighter, which I bet a lot of players actually use only for their base, because really the only ones building on planets are glitch builders or people that are building such amazing bases where you need a lot of space to do so, and it's just very simple for them. And for this Colossus, or something that could be very similar to the Colossus, is make it to where maybe there's like a ramp on the back of it to where you can actually like drive up or walk up into it, and maybe there's just like a nutrient processor that you make food on. So say you just want to take a break, go inside and make some cookies, or you're just kind of hiding from the storm, which would be a pretty good option for them to do. So since they like to take a lot of Star Wars kind of inspiration for things in this game, there's just a lot of things that you can tell they come from the inspiration of Star Wars. So as such as the Jawa Sandcrawler, they can make something similar to this. It's slow in speed, yes, but it is still such a great option that they could do just to give some more variety into the game, just in general. Another option they could do is something like AT-ATs on Star Wars, make like a redesign of them to where even if it's slow walking, it's still kind of a mobile base, so it's something you're really gonna use still, just in the long run. And the last thing I'm gonna kind of go at, kind of in the Colossus area, something that's big and slow that would work really well for a base, is the Clone Troopers turbo tank. As you see here, if you guys watch Star Wars, it's in the third movie, Revenge of the Sith. Just a massive, pretty much Colossus type of Exocraft. It looks pretty similar to this, so it wouldn't be much workaround to kind of make something like this to where it's just a movable base that you just bring on the planet with you and can do whatever you want, whether you sit in a chair, you sleep, or again just want to make cookies and take a break from exploring and kind of just look out onto the planet that you're on and just take just like a little relaxing break to take in the views, which I think would be a really cool feature in the game if because it would bring a lot of people back to using Exocrafts, because it'd be more of an importance because you could just have a mobile base with you and could just go anywhere while you're exploring. You don't have to worry about flying back or anything like that and wasting time. You can just stop, go into your base and kind of relax a little bit before you head back on your way exploring the planet that you are currently on. Now, another option that they could do, which is just totally different than kind of like a mobile base, is making something that is really fast. Because I said it in the beginning of the video that starships, they kind of just make Exocrafts outdated because they're just so much faster to move around the planet, or just even to move a few hundred miles or feet, whatever you want to call it in the game. It's just a lot quicker just to do it that way, just in general. So maybe add something like the Imperial Speeder into the game, or any type of speeder that is actually in the game that you can just really fly around the planet while on the ground, and just make them more used than what the Exocraft currently are. Because yes, when Exocraft were first added, they were such a great thing to have because you could easily just jump into them. They were exciting to use, but now they're just really outdated compared to all the things that are in the game. So I think they need readjusted. Besides the Minotaur, it's just really cool to use and walk around in. So I don't think this one's ever going to go away from people using, but it's more used as an AI friend now that helps you in combat rather than you getting into it and kind of flying around or walking around. Another thing they could put into the game is, in the first movie and Phantom Menace, there is a lot of pod racing, and maybe adds like a pod racing type of variant Exocraft that's really fast. So these are like our two options for quickness, such as a speeder and also the pod racer, which would actually be really cool to be able to just zip around planets and different things and make actual like pod racing type of bases for people to go to and like race their friends or just race random people. I think that would be a great addition to the game. So maybe not even just adding one of these that I've said, maybe also add two new Exocraft, one that we can actually build a base into and have a mobile base to go around on a planet, and then also have something that's really fast so we can kind of make it to where they still have an importance, so we're not always jumping in our ship and wasting like launch fuel and things like that. And just to be able to just get in something that can bring us 500 U's faster than an actual spaceship could, you just jumping in it and flying over, which I think would be such a great addition. And to be able to actually see your character in the kind of like pod racing type of thing, just zipping around the planet, because there's not many things like that other than when you're riding like a creature. But so the animation and things is there for them to do something like that. We'll just have to see what No Man's Sky brings in the future, because I do believe that there is a lot of great things they could add with just the mechanics and things that have been improved over the years. And maybe inside of these actual bases that we have, we can not only make cookies, but we could also like maybe spawn in a drone to fly around, or just do little creative things that you can't do unless you're inside of these mobile bases. But leave down in the comment section below what's your favorite Exocraft and what you would like to see out of these two options the most, either a mobile base or just a really fast Exocraft that's kind of like the actual like pod racer or a speeder in Star Wars. Because I feel like if they do something, it's going to be something they take inspiration from. Is definitely going to be Star Wars, since they've done it so much already. Now, another way that I thought about is being able to create our very own Exocraft, as in being able to go and put parts together to make it our very own and make it very unique to us, so we're more inclined to use it. Now, this mechanic is already in the game of a sorts with the starships, of the base starships in the game that we can go and get parts for and put together our very own starship with our own colors and everything. Now, it's already in the game, so it wouldn't be that too hard of an ask to be able to do. Maybe we just go to like a technology merchant and we're able to just purchase these, but who knows, there's so many different ways that they could do things. But these are just my three that I think would make the game a lot more enjoyable, with the Exocrafts in particular, because with the Exocrafts, like I said, they're really outdated and they really need to have something done with them to make them more relevant in today's age of No Man's Sky. Anyways guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Again, I'll leave my Discord down in the description below, as well as my Amazon author bookshelf. I hope you guys have an amazing new year, and I'll see you next time.